Came across this the other day. This is really interesting. I had no idea. You can see here, this is from New York Public Radio, Why Isn't the Sky Blue? It's about 20 minutes. I'll put the link. Highly recommend going and listening to it. Basically, what it boils down to is that the ancient cultures, Greek, Chinese, Japanese, Hebrew, all these old languages, old cultures, did not have a word for the color blue. And it all came about from William Gladstone, who lived in the 1800s, was the Prime Minister of Britain, and a huge fan of Homer, the Iliad and the Odyssey. And what he discovered while he was reading it was that nowhere in the book, in those two books, or really any of Homer's writings, he went further down into the other writings, was the word blue, the description of the color blue. For example, like honey is green, sheep are violet, the ocean is wine-colored, like dark wine. And so he decided, he reread everything and counted up the number of times colors were referenced in the Odyssey. And black is 200 times, white is 100, red was about 15, yellow and green fewer than 10. And the word blue was mentioned 0 times. So here's the light spectrum, right? And what we call visible light is just one sliver on top there of the entire, electromagnetic spectrum. So what we call visible light is basically sunlight. It's the light emanating from the sun. Now, in that radio clip that I'll again link to, they came up with a couple different explanations why people in ancient cultures didn't really mention blue or have anything to do with it. And I don't agree with any of them, that they came up with any of their theories why. And it goes into something here. This historian, let me see if I can find his name. No, I can't find his name. I'll link to an article also. He said that blue appeared last in all of the ancient languages, right? So every language had a word for black and white. And then the next word color to come into existence was red, followed by yellow, followed by green, and finally blue, right? So the order that they appeared in ancient texts was white, black, or black, white, and then red, yellow, green, and blue, which if you look at the spectrum is moving from right to left. So what we have here on the top row there is solar lithosphere radiation. So the sun emanates wavelengths that we can see basically from 300 nanometers up to about 750. That encompasses visible light. The next one down is a soft white incandescent bulb, and you can see how the spectrum is completely different. A white LED, and then finally on the bottom, a red LED. So they came up in the article and in that radio broadcast with a couple different theories as to why, blue was the final color to be mentioned or to be referenced at all, or that a word was even invented for it. And I didn't really like any of their theories, like what they came up with. So what I think is most likely is that a couple different things. First, that blue in nature is not, aside from the sky and maybe a few flowers here and there, blue isn't like a natural color. Like blue eyes are a thing, but that's basically it. Like I can't really think of any other natural objects that are blue besides the sky, maybe eye color and a flower petal here and there. Maybe like something on a bird, like a wing or a leaf or a wing, a feather. But aside from that, it's really hard to come up with a blue object. So maybe the sky wasn't blue back in the day. And we all, like Saturn theory and things like that, the sky wouldn't have been blue. But we're talking about times after that, like times of written history. So it would have been this Earth with this sun basically in this rough orbit. So that's putting Saturn theory aside. So either the sky wasn't blue and there really wasn't a need for the word blue because really it wasn't anywhere in nature, or either the sun wasn't emitting those lower wavelengths that we could see. The sun wasn't emitting those lower wavelengths. The human eye wasn't adapted to see those lower wavelengths. Or somehow the earth, the atmosphere, or something like that was blocking those lower wavelengths from entering. I don't know. I don't know what the correct answer is, but I think that's more likely than the couple theories that they came up with. And it strikes me as too coincidental that it went from black and white were the two only words for colors to then red, then yellow, then green, then blue. Like you're moving from right to left. You're going from higher wavelength to lower wavelength. And I can't imagine that's a coincidence. So again, it was either our eyes were becoming more and more adapted to seeing lower and lower wavelengths of color, or something was going on with the sun, or something was going on with the atmosphere that was allowing these lower wavelengths to reach our eyes.